Oh my god. It's me, it's Dad Shark, and we are live, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to today's live stream. We've got some important notes to go over on Bitcoin. Let's do it. So, first and foremost, most immediate thing we need to pay attention to is the daily 500 1.25 standard deviation. Now, this is a particularly important pivot, and let's talk about why. And I know I do this at the beginning of every one of these videos, but we cannot forget the significance of this period, simply because we currently have 6 tests that have proven effective directly on that support. But in the previous bull run, we had 11 tests of that same support. And goodness gracious, let's just take a look at, let's do this. Let's pump this to the, well, changing the time frame wouldn't help, so let's just do 2 charts. All right. So what I'm particularly interested in is this. So in both of these scenarios, whoa, Nelly, there we go. Where Bitcoin had a significant pump following a compressionary period. Both of those significant pumps and compressionary periods happened right on top of that 500 period 1.25 standard deviation. And then in the previous bull run, it held that support 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and so on. Right? So really, I kind of see this as the make or break pivot. If we stay above, cool, we get sustained trend. If we go below, we get I don't know, we haven't really entertained that scenario yet, have we? So if we break down, we'll have to define things based on downward expansion, which I guess we can get into. I didn't really expect to be going the bearish route right off the bat, but hey, nobody's talking about it, so let's do it. Let's actually figure out what we need to look at if Bitcoin were to break below that long-term support value. Okay, so first and foremost, we had the implied downward expansion. The backward retest actually had the most immediate available rejection possible, which was based on the top edge of the 130 period. So 130, and we actually have implications of strong downward trend due to the fact that we escaped the mean reversion condition before it completed. All right, that requires a very significant amount of force to enact, right? If you have an active mean reversion condition and the condition fails, in the sense that, not that the mean reversion itself failed, because quite honestly, the mean reversion completed like immediately, boom, baby. But the compressionary condition, which I use interchangeably, I should probably just say compressionary, but mean reversion paints a better picture, and mean reversions typically happen during compressionary periods. So really, the only time we're going to be prioritizing using compressionary condition is when it fails. And this is one of the scenarios where it has failed, right? Because we have not returned below the 0.7 value on the 130 period, and we're already getting re-expansion of that period through a downward move. And that's pretty rare. We don't typically see that, right? At least while we still have red plumage, we do tend to stay inside around 98% of the time. But as soon as we're into just yellow plumage, yeah, because it's kind of feathery and it is like a plume of smoke. So we actually get 2 ways to use that with 2 completely separate words, because it's like a feather and it's like a plume of smoke. Plumage, plume. I love it. Great design. Anyway, what we are looking at here is we stay inside the band like so, as long as it is red, which did appear to be true. And then as soon as we return to a strong but slightly less strong condition, we had the rare event of us resuming trend despite the compressionary condition still being in effect. So what does that mean? It means there is significant force being applied to the downside, and if that's the case, we want to be careful, to say the very least, because it does imply strong downward pressure. However, we're also directly on top of long-term support. So what does that mean? I'm going to long in the daily 500 period. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to wait until then. Altcoins are taking a small beating right now. I'm interested in buying Doge because we are getting some bullish volume here, which is pretty rare. at least in terms of the last 2 months. Of course. Doge is notorious for having smaller pre-pumps to test liquidity before larger pumps, so I would very much like to see how this volume plays out, because I mean, it's a cyclical coin with an implied 500% upside. I really can't, turn my eyes away from that. That's pretty significant. Keep an eye on Doge, people. That's all I want to say. XRP is on my watch list. To my understanding, we are testing our current mean reversion condition pivot, which let's just load manually because it's a clear defined upward trend. We might be able to short this depending on where our mean reversion condition lines up. So let's turn on ACAT and see how that loads. If you're watching this on YouTube, please comment on what you'd like me to look at. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's an active mean reversion condition. Hold on. Yep, that's bearish. All right, XRP is not resuming trend. XRP is going to drop to 26.15. And yeah, we can make a position on that. Why not? Not the best entry at the moment. I would prefer to see swing high. But because Bitcoin's bearish, I wouldn't be surprised if we just drop straight to the mean. So I have an active long. I might just switch it to a short. So we'll see how that plays out. I'd also like to see a candle close, which might take a while. I'll be asleep. So questionable, to say the least. As far as final thoughts on Bitcoin, yeah, we actually have trend. We do not have trend inversion to the downside. All right. So because we had the initial downward expansion followed by immediate compression, we are not registering this move here as a new downward expansion, which might be able to in a lower time frame. No, because it's too tapered and sustained of a move. Yeah. Okay. So I can't define the downward trend because of previously volatile price action, right? Because it changes the metric of look back is annoyed. Or rather, well, let me explain it like this. Like, imagine trying to taste chamomile tea after putting a bunch of Pop Rocks in your mouth, right? You're not going to be able to taste it, all right? This indicator is the same way. If you get crazy stuff, you're not going to be able to tell me the flowery nuances of that nice steaming calming cup of delicate price action. All right. So kind of having some trouble finding trend at this time. So all we can do is buy the support, which I guess we can look at. Right? Any idea what it is? Oh, that's right. It's the daily 500. Let's take a look at what that period is. Come on. Nice. All right. So our support is, drumroll please, 9,700. All right. Might drop $200 tonight. That's cool. Alts will take a beating. I guess your best play, you could buy alts when we touch that value. That would work pretty well. All right, that's it for today. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. All right. Good night, my boys.